We got some geography now. We got Chile. I know absolutely nothing about Chile, so yeah, let's check this out, man.
Hey everybody, so if you're feeling kind of Chile, make sure that...
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, shoot. What was that?
Whoa, what the heck?
Dude, are you serious?
Everything's okay.
Dude, I can't believe...
Oh, that was real?
Wonder what that was on the Richter scale. If somebody here was from Chile, they could probably tell us.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. Welcome to
Let's not talk about it, man.
Chile, the country where people really know
There's
how to
no way
shake
that
things
got me,
up.
bro.
But first, let's dissect the flag. The flag of Chile, otherwise known as the Estrella Solitaria, or the Lone Star, is made up of two unequal bands of white and red with a blue square in the upper left hoist side with a single 5-point star in the middle of it. The star commonly represents the guidance towards progress and honor. The blue box represents the sky and ocean. The white band represents the snow-covered Andes and the mountains. And the red stands for... the blood of those who fought for the country. And that's about it. Just make sure you don't confuse this flag with the flag of Texas and you're good to go. Moving on.
I still can't believe that got me. Move it on.
There are
Move it on.
virtually no countries that have the same types of parameters.
Oh, wait. I forgot. I always forget this. Let's move my camera. Oh, I keep moving the screen. Move my camera down here. Boom. There we go. Jog for now.
As Chile. Chile is located on the southwestern coast of the South American continent, bordered by Argentina, Peru, and Bolivia.
It's a weird-looking country, isn't it?
700 miles. Chile is the world's longest country by territory.
It's just
length
long.
north to south, and is also one of the narrowest land countries. The average width
What the
is about
hell?
177 kilometers or 110 miles. The broadest point by Antofagasta being only 356 kilometers, and the narrowest by
So
Yapel
weird.
at a measly 90 kilometers in width. The country is divided into 15 regions. Each region is assigned a name with a Roman numeral north to south. The only exception is the Santiago Metropolitan Region as the capital, which has its own designation under RM, or Región Metropolitana. The numeral system used to be easy. It was just up and down 1 through 13 until in 2006 two more regions were added. Los Rios in the south at number 14 and Arica and Parinacota
You legit just go up or down.
So you have number 15 at the top and number 14 in between 9 and 10. Why Chile didn't just number all the regions?
They only have a north and a
I
south.
have no idea. Shut up. That's why. The capital is Santiago, located roughly in the upper central area in the country. It's a bustling city with
Oh my God.
back into the 16th century, blending a mix of neoclassical architecture alongside glass
Wow.
skyscrapers and high-rises like the
Oh my God, I didn't
Santiago
expect
Tower
that.
at 64 stories, and it is also the tallest building in all of South America. Chile will also tell you that their country is a tri-continental country because they have islands and territories that span across 3 continents: South America, Oceania, and Antarctica, even though the Antarctic Treaty kind of bans anyone from claiming ownership over Antarctica. But hey, Chile does have one of only 2 civilian settlements on Antarctica, Villa Las Estrellas, located on King George Island right off the Antarctic Peninsula. This place hosts about 150 people, mostly military and scientist personnel with their families. The population fluctuates during the winter season when they have fewer residents. Nonetheless, this town has a school for kids, a library, a small hospital, and a post office which offers a rare Antarctic postage stamp. The other territories they have include the Juan Fernandez Archipelago Islands, which includes Robinson Crusoe Island. Yes, people, the island that book was named after, which that guy who wrote it was marooned on. Look, guys,
I've never seen that
book. I don't really read a lot of classic literature. I just make it look like I do on this show so that it gives off the illusion that I'm a refined, classy person.
It
teaches geography.
Oh, don't show me that bit. Oh.
Turadas, or the Unfortunate Islands, are also owned by Chile, although
I
they
always
don't really
get
have
teased
much
by
going on
food
for them,
in these.
except there's a small airstrip and naval base on San Felix Island. Then we have Isla Salas, Y Gomez, and Easter Island, located in the far-off remote
Why have I heard of Easter
classified as the
Island?
southeasternmost point of Polynesia, so technically it does belong to Oceania, even though these islands are actually closer to mainland Chile than they are to the rest of Polynesia. Salas y Gomez is uninhabited, boring, and doesn't really have anything. Easter Island is the moneymaker. Easter Island is like the Hawaii of Chile, world famous for being one of the strangest places on Earth, with petroglyphs and ancient unexplained moai statues created.
That's why. Oh my God, yeah. How weird. How weird.
Like the Hawaii of
I think I
Chile.
watched a video on
World famous
it.
for being one of the strangest places on Earth, with petroglyphs and ancient unexplained moai statues created by the ancient Rapa Nui peoples that adorn the entire island. The country overall has about 2,000 islands, most of which are located in the South Patagonia region,
So
where things
weird.
get pretty crazy. The islands in the south create an immense clustered labyrinth of cold green rocky fjords and channels, very similar
They
to the
look
ones in
sick.
the west coast of Canada and Alaska that are hard to access. In fact, if you want to drive south to the rest of Chile, the furthest you can can go is on the 7 highway until it cuts off at Villa O'Higgins. That's right, people, O'Higgins. There are Irish people that live here. Where the Patagonia ice fields begin, and here you either have to go by boat or fly to any of the other south
That's
towns
so cool.
in Chile, like Punta Arenas or Puerto Williams. Remember from the Argentina video? The further south you go in Chile, the crazier things seem to get. Let's explain why in... One thing you have to understand is that Chile is located right on one of the most intense active fault lines in the entire world, the Ring of Fire. This means Chile as a whole is disputably the earthquake capital of the world. In fact, the largest earthquake on record happened in Valdivia in 1960 and registered a 9.5 on the Richter scale. The funny thing is, these people here really don't even care. They're so used to it and have adapted in almost every possible way to deal with it for centuries. Very few people are casualties of earthquakes, and most people can typically even tell how strong...
That's a fucking...
deal with it for centuries. Very few people are casualties of earthquakes, and most people can typically even tell how strong an earthquake was on the Richter scale just by feeling it. If it's over a 7.0, they usually just stand up out of their chairs and wait it out. Now add on top of that the country has about 500 active volcanoes.
That's
of course, as
Yo. Hold on. The earthquake situation is mad. What did you just say?
feeling it. If it's over a 7.0, they usually just stand up out of their chairs and wait it out. Now add on top of that the country has about 500 active volcanoes. Of course, as we already discussed in the Argentina video, the northern part of Chile lies on the Atacama Desert, the driest area on Earth. The areas in the north, although dry, however, contain some of the richest deposits of copper. In fact, 6 of the top 10 largest copper mines in the world are found in Chile alone, making Chile the top copper producer. By the way, the upcoming movie The 33, starring Antonio Banderas, is based on the true story of the survival and rescue of the Chilean miners that were trapped under 2,000 feet of rock in a copper mine back in 2010.
I've actually watched that.
You have to admit, it's kind of weird because the whole movie is mostly spoken in English with Spanish accents. So when it shows in Chile, they'll have to use subtitles for a movie about their own people from their own country.
That's weird.
Hollywood! The cool thing though is it does actually rain a few times in the Atacama every decade. And when it does, you get this incredibly rare, beautiful glimpse of the entire desert transformed into a flowering meadow. This phenomenon only happens here and in other places like the Gobi Desert in Saudi Arabia. The further south you go, the greener it gets. Most of the agricultural lands are found in the central regions with the most formidable climates for grain and produce production. The east is completely bordered by the Andes Mountains with Argentina on the other side, all the way to the bottom of the continent where you can find the Patagonia glaciers and ice fields, making it the coldest place in all of Chile. Or should I say the chilliest part in Chile. This geographical isolation has not only given Chile the hedge of solitude, but also has allowed the population to develop a very distinct and unique culture and attitude that sets them apart from all the rest of the Latin American countries. And here's how. Okay, I'm just gonna be straight up. Chile is kind of like the California of the South American continent. First of all, the country has just over 18 million people, about 40% of whom live in the capital, Santiago alone. Ethnicity-wise, estimates speculate that a little over 50% of the country is white, about 40% are mixed mestizo, and the rest are Amerindian. Of course, Spanish is the official language, however, the dialect is quite different from the rest of Latin American countries. Chileans tend to speak faster, and sometimes they cut off their S's and D's from words, and also they have a whole list of specific Chilean vernacular that you can't find anywhere else. For example, instead of saying cosa, you might hear wea. Instead of hearing fiesta, you might hear the word carrete. And depending on the context, the word weon could either mean buddy or something along the lines of stupid little punk. ¿Cómo estás, weon? Versus eres weon o qué? See, the thing is, unlike Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, Chile never really got an influx of various European nationalities migrating to their country. Back in the Industrial Revolution times, the only way to get to Chile would be to either cross the Drake Passage, which would take a lot longer than stopping on the east coast of the continent, or you would have to cross the Andes Mountains, which was even more difficult. This means that Chile has a higher concentration of whites that identify with Spain as their...
I wonder how, like, Chile became Chile. Do you know, like, we're just a straight line, you know what I mean?
Source of heritage. Speaking of which, the South Central and South areas have a long history of indigenous Mapuche heritage. The Mapuches make up a majority of Chile's indigenous population, and for the longest time, we're actually able to fight off the Spanish invaders. Most of Chile's mestizos are descended from the Mapuches, and today they make up a strong population over 1.5 million. Then you have Easter Island, which has a majority of Polynesians that speak their own language, the Rapa Nui, and in the North Deserts you can still find decent populations of Aymara and Quichuas, mostly from Peru and Bolivia, whom, by the way, believe the land belongs to them. Bolivia still wants that ocean. As one of South America's most stable and prosperous nations, Chile has the highest degree of economic freedom and GDP per capita in the Latin world. Chile's IT and programming sectors have boomed boomed in recent years with high-tech corporations and startups popping up all over, especially in Santiago, making Chile sort of like the Silicon Valley of South America. Plus, surfing is huge out here. See, it really is like the California of South America. Culture-wise, Chileans will tell you that they are kind of like the outcasts of the Latino countries, and for a number of reasons. The country is known for its illustrative poetry that eventually got them 2 Nobel Prize winners.
Cool.
Cuisine varies from region to region, but one thing Chileans are not short of is seafood. With a coastline.
What are these right here? Like pea kind of things? Like
that long, you're probably gonna find some gills on your plate. With a unique platter of Pacific fish, Chile likes to claim that they have the best ceviche in the world.
Right.
Strong words to say to your neighbors, Chile. Now let's see what those neighbors think about you.
Allow me some cod. Do they have cod?
Now,
Some
here's
bad
the thing.
cod.
Historically,
Ooh.
Chile has had a lot of drama, both domestically and abroad. Chile has had more coups d'etats than any other country in the world, at around 40. Everything didn't settle down until about the 1970s. On top of that, they've also had wars and scuffles with every single one of their immediate neighbors. Even though Peru and Bolivia do business with Chile out of courtesy, the reminders of the Pacific War still linger on.
I can't get over how weird Chile looks. Like it's stripped, dude.
Overall, they both kind of roll their eyes at Chile. Argentina is the biggest rival of Chile, and even though they have some of the closest economic ties, Chile helped the British in the Falkland War, so Argentina kind of sees them as a little bit of a traitor. And again, don't even get started on the soccer matches. Because of this, Chile has kind of had to branch out and reassess their diplomatic intents abroad. Outside of Latin America, Chile rubs shoulders with the US, Australia, New Zealand, and oddly enough, the UK as well. Back in the Australian gold rush, Chile was a major supplier of wheat and food. Trade began and fully developed within years. The US's relations have grown exponentially since the 80s, and as of 2014, Chile became the only Latin American country to have a visa waiver program entering into the US. Chile and the UK have a strange historical relationship. The British originally wanted to take over Chile and even teamed up with the Mapuches for a while.
Of course we did.
To keep the Spanish out. In a sense, the UK has always kept an eye on Chile, even though they never got to colonize it. And to this day, the ripples of that show through their diplomatic engagements. In terms of their best friends, however, Chile might probably say Colombia and Mexico. The countries all share the Pacific Alliance trade bloc. Colombians love moving into Chile and add a delightful warm Caribbean vibe to the otherwise colder atmosphere of the country. In conclusion, Chile may be the skinny, isolated country with lots of stuff going on, but when things get overwhelming, they just shake it off. Stay tuned. Oh boy. China is coming.
Oh my god, I need to check out this video. Really interesting video about Chile. Enjoyed that one. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it too. Let me know if you missed anything that I need to know in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.